week on the show, we're going to be talking all about how to structure your coaching program. So this is a question that I get asked loads as a business mentor, especially who supports newer coaches, because this is something that can be a bit tricky when you're starting out, to know exactly how to put together a coaching package or program that is going to help your people actually get the results that they need, and that you're going to be able to help them through that process. So in this episode of the show, I'm going to take you through how I approach creating this kind of package, and just share some things for you to think about, some things to consider, and a bit of a method as well to go through too. So the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I call the A to B method, and it's really simple. All you need to do is get a sheet of paper, or you can head to the link in the description box and there'll be a link to where you can download like a little printable for this, but really just a sheet of paper, and then draw a line down the middle, and then on one side you've got A and on the other side you've got B. And what you need to start off by doing is, on side A is where you talk about and describe the people who you're working with before you work with them. So let's say that you are a coach who works with women who have got body image issues. You could talk about how they might be feeling now, and the things that you want to think about here. This isn't an ideal client avatar exercise. We're not interested in what magazines they read or that kind of thing. We're really thinking about how are they experiencing life right now. So it can be things like, do they dread going into the changing rooms and seeing themselves in the mirror? Do they avoid shopping altogether? What things are coming up for them? How are they experiencing life? What is getting them down? What aspirations do they have for themselves right now? And just write down as much as you can. This is going to be absolute gold when it comes to writing your sales copy as well, so write down as much as you can. And then on the other column, in the B column, we want to write down how they might be experiencing life after they've worked with you. Now this is a one, when you come to this question, it's about thinking within the, because obviously it might be that your work is quite broad, or it might be that your work is quite niched. So really just think about what it is that you want to achieve with this coaching program, and then think about the ways that they might experience life afterwards. Now, if you're a new coach, you might not have a lot of like real life examples to draw on in terms of, I've worked with someone and this is how they felt. But think about how you would want them to feel, like what results would you want to get for people. Obviously, if you have worked with people and you can see how people's lives have changed, that's brilliant, but write down the after. So in the example of the client who might struggle with body image, we want to be thinking about, okay, so can they now confidently go out shopping? Can they attend family parties and not worry about how they look? Can they be in photographs again? Think about those examples. And we really want, in this example, especially when it comes to using this towards sales copy, we want really like down to earth in real life examples. We don't want to be using too much coach speak. We want to be using examples that people can really relate to. So you've got the before and you've got the after, and this is the journey that you want to help them take through your coaching package. And once you've got that in place, then, to be honest, I use this method for everything that I create. I'm helping someone because it really helps me get clear on, okay, so that's where I wanted to take them. And then the next step is to think about using your skills and experience and all of the tools and resources that you have at your disposal. How would you help someone from point A to point B? What would you do with them? What kind of journey would you take them on? So once you have your before and after, you can start to think about what that journey might look like and how you might create a journey for people. So think about all of the skills and experience, all the accesses to tools and resources that you have. How would you craft a journey for these people to take them from A to B? And that essentially is going to become your coaching package. Now, I think at this point it's really helpful to consider how much pure coaching you do versus mentoring, because if you're a pure coach, so if the way that you work is much more about asking those open-ended questions, allowing people to have the space to come up with their own answers, the end point is going to be a lot less defined in that way of working. Whereas if you're more of a mentor and you're a bit more directive, then that end point can be a little bit more defined. And I think it's just something just to be aware of. At the end of the day, I think most of us coaches, the outcomes, nothing's guaranteed. We can say that we've got the before and we've got the after, but that after, like, we can't guarantee people. And I think this is quite an important thing to remember, is that we can't guarantee that anyone's going to get to that point. But these are the potential outcomes that people can experience if they work with you. And whether it's coaching or more mentoring, like there's still going to be differences, but I think with more coaching, with a more pure coaching approach, that endpoint is a lot less defined. So it might be worth just bearing that in mind when it comes to how you're structuring your program, basically. And then once you've got all of that in place and in your head and written down and stuff, then it's to start thinking about how long you might want to work with someone. Now, again, if you're a new coach, I think so much of this putting together your coaching package is a bit of trial and error, because what I've certainly found is that even now, even after I've been coaching for 10 years, I will still create a package and I will still refine it constantly. So there's no one coaching package that you create and then it's done. So there's always that kind of process of refinement. But at this point, because we want to get something out there and put it out there and start helping people, we need to think about how long it is that we want to work with people for. So what's the length of time that you might want to deliver this coaching package over? Now, a good place to think about, the good region to start thinking about, is like the 3 to 6 months kind of space. For a full coaching package, that's probably what it is that you're looking at, and you're looking at maybe weekly or bi-weekly. I would tend to go with the bi-weekly, depending on the nature of your coaching. But again, you're the expert, you know your people, you've probably experienced something similar to the journey that you're taking people on. In fact, a lot of our coaching packages and that A to B, think about if you've been on a journey that has led to you becoming a coach in your particular niche, it's probably very reflective of your own journey. But don't forget to draw on your experiences as well. And often what the coaching package is offering is like an acceleration of that journey from someone just doing it by themselves, as well as all sorts of other fantastic outcomes. So really think about the time frame, how often that you feel that people would need sessions. And also you want to think about, from your perspective, is like what's going to work for you as the coach and as a business, what's going to make sense. Can you really see people weekly? Is that doable for you? Can you really work with clients over a 6-month period? Is that too long? What's going to work for you? And again, what you might do is you might deliver that program with a bunch of people and then find out that actually, it needs to be this long. So you're going to see what that looks like as you go through doing the work that you do. When I was a health coach, I had a 6-month coaching program, but what I started to find was that by about 4 months, people had really embedded the main changes and things that I was working through with people. So I ended up changing the program so that those kind of final sessions were delivered over a slightly longer time frame, so that they had a bigger gap between sessions, so they could go off and still have that support, but it wasn't as intense. So it's going to shift and change, but for that starting point, it's just about thinking about what time frame is going to work. And then another thing to consider is your actual coaching sessions and what it is that you're going to do in them and how you're going to deliver them. Now, again, this really comes down to like how structured you want to be, or how bespoke and free and easy do you want to be in those sessions. The way that I used to do it as a health coach was that the first session was always quite structured. There was always a certain set of things that we would cover in that first session that helped me get a sense of where that person was at. Obviously, we usually have a discovery call before that, a health history session that would lead into that before that actual first paid session of the coaching package. But I would have much more of a structure for that one. So it meant that first session, I knew what I was doing going into it. We had some structure. I knew what things I would be working on with that person, what questions I would be asking, what we would be exploring. And then the sessions after that would be a lot more bespoke, and it would be really based on where that person was at, and it'd be much more person-centered. And again, I think one of the reasons why we create coaching packages, and one of the reasons why it's one-to-one, is that it needs to be that person-centered, and we can have that journey, we can have all of those different resources and stuff available to us, but we want to use them and apply them in a really person-centered way. I think when you're doing something one-to-one, you want to be able to have those nuances. And what often happens is that after you've worked with a few clients, that actually this is the same journey for everyone. And that's when you can start to look at the one-to-many, certainly if you're getting booked out with one-to-one clients. So it can translate that in that way really well. But for where you are right now, it's like thinking about how you want to deliver those sessions. So like I say, some people have really structured programs. Session 1's this, session 2's this, session 3's this, but it's totally up to you. So it's just worth having a bit of a think about how you want to deliver it, and is there any key things that you want to deliver with someone. What you can also do is that do it like on a person by person basis. So if you have a discovery call with someone and it's okay, this person's going to work with me, this is the kind of journey that I think I'm going to take them on, given what they've said and given where their starting point is. And these are the tools and resources from my work as a coach and from my experience in life that I'm going to work and use with this person. So in the example of the body image client, it could be, okay, so that you've got this client, you know a bit about them, a bit about the background. It's okay, so I am going to bring in some EFT with them. I'm going to do some mindset work. I'm going to bring in this tool and this thing. And you might just feed them in over the course of the entire program. So there's lots of different ways that you can approach it, but I hope that's given you a bit of a sense of where to start. There's a huge amount of stuff that goes into creating a coaching package, but I think starting with that A to B method, really getting a sense of like where on the end of the scale are you in terms of coaching and mentoring, and where do you want to be, like what's that going to look like. And it might be that you go in and out. I very much go in and out of coaching and mentoring style. I think I'm more of a mentor, but I definitely drop into being more of a coach at times as well. And then thinking about how long it is that you might want that program to last and how many sessions, and then just thinking about how you might want the sessions structured. And then you have your coaching package. And then the next thing to do is to create your sales copy around all of that stuff, and to really start to pull all of those bits together, and then obviously get clients into it, which is what we want. And just to mention as well, because I'm always rubbish at remembering to mention this, but if you want support, if you're a newish coach and you're listening to this and thinking this is really helpful, and I want to be able to put together sales copy for this, and I want to be able to go out there and promote it and get more clients, please do check out my Wholehearted Business Program. It is my 6-month group program. The price is going to be going up soon. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in September. But if you're interested, it's going to be having a bit of an overhaul. There's going to be some different structures and stuff in there. Do come and check it out. I will leave a link in the description box. It's an awesome group program. It's fantastic. So do go and check that out if it sounds of interest. And also, as always, if this has been useful, do come and check me out on Instagram, pop me a DM at wholeheartedlylaura. Don't forget, if you are listening to this on the podcast, there is a YouTube version of this. Come and check out my YouTube channel as well. Just search for Laura Agar Wilson or Wholeheartedly Laura on YouTube, and that will pop up. I'll check out the link in the description box as well. And also, there's obviously the blog version, podcast version. You guys know, check out all of the links and stuff in the description if you want to go and check out those versions. And yeah, have a fantastic week, guys. The summer is getting on now, isn't it? Honestly, I can't wait for September. I'm so excited. I'll be talking more about that, but I'm so excited. September, October, November are my favourite months of the year, and I'm so excited for it. So yeah, have a fantastic week, guys. See you soon. Bye.